The little girl's body hit the cold pavement with a soft, lifeless thud, right outside the hospital doors where life and death crossed paths every single day. People passed by, some glancing, most too busy, assuming someone else would help. But one man stopped. One man ran toward her without thinking twice, not knowing that this single moment would change his life forever. Before we go further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of human compassion, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel Kindness Corner. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts. The man's name was Daniel. A single father who had learned to survive life the hard way. His days were long, filled with endless work, and his nights were even longer, filled with quiet loneliness. Ever since his wife passed away 3 years ago, the world had felt heavier. Every responsibility rested on his shoulders, and though he carried it all with strength, there was always a silent exhaustion behind his eyes. That morning, Daniel had brought his son for a routine checkup. Hospitals had become familiar places to him, places that reminded him of both loss and survival. As he stepped out toward the parking area, he noticed the small crowd forming, but not moving. That hesitation in people always bothered him. Without thinking, he rushed forward, pushing past the stillness, and that's when he saw her. A little girl, no older than 7, lay unconscious on the ground. Her golden brown hair spread across the pavement, her tiny body still, her face pale. She looked so fragile, so out of place against the harsh concrete. There was something about her that made Daniel's chest tighten instantly. He knelt down, carefully lifting her into his arms. She felt weightless, like she had already given up. Panic surged through him, but he forced himself to stay steady. He shouted for help, his voice echoing with urgency. This time, people moved. Within seconds, hospital staff rushed out with a stretcher. But Daniel didn't wait. He carried her himself through those sliding glass doors, as if every second mattered more than anything in the world. And in that moment, it did. Inside, everything became a blur of motion. Doctors surrounded her, nurses began checking her vitals, and Daniel stepped back, watching helplessly. His heart was pounding, not just from the rush, but from something deeper. Something he couldn't explain. He didn't know her. He had never seen her before. And yet, something about her felt familiar. Minutes passed like hours. Daniel stood there, unable to leave. He told himself he should go. His son was waiting, life was waiting, responsibilities were calling. But his feet refused to move. Then a nurse approached him. She asked if he knew the child, and he shook his head. He explained how he found her, how she collapsed, how no one else stepped in. The nurse thanked him, her expression soft but concerned, and told him they would do everything they could. That should have been the end of it. A good deed done. A stranger helped. A moment of kindness in a world that often forgets it. But Daniel didn't leave. He sat in the waiting area, his hands clasped tightly, his mind restless. Memories began creeping in, memories of holding his own daughter years ago. Memories that hurt to revisit. His daughter had died when she was only 5. A sudden illness, a short fight, and then, silence. That loss had carved something deep inside him, something that never truly healed. And now, seeing this little girl lying helplessly, something inside him was breaking all over again. After what felt like forever, a doctor finally came out. His face was serious, but not hopeless. He explained that the girl was severely malnourished and dehydrated. Her body had simply shut down from exhaustion. But there was something else, something that made the situation more complicated. She had no identification. No records. No family had come forward. She was completely alone. Those words hit Daniel harder than anything else. Completely alone. Days passed, and Daniel found himself returning to the hospital again and again. At first, he told himself it was just to check on her. Just to make sure she was okay. But deep down, he knew it was more than that. When she finally woke up, her eyes were filled with confusion and fear. She didn't speak much. She didn't trust easily. But she didn't cry either. It was as if she had already learned that crying didn't change anything. Daniel sat by her side, keeping his distance at first. Slowly, gently, he began to talk to her. Not asking questions, not pushing her to respond, just talking. About simple things. About the weather. About his son. About how brave she was. Days turned into a quiet routine. The girl began to recognize him. She would look for him when he wasn't there. And one day, she finally spoke. Her voice was soft, almost fragile, but her words carried weight. She told him her name was Lily. She told him she didn't remember much, only that she had been traveling with someone, and then, nothing. No details. No clarity. Just fragments of a story that didn't quite make sense. The truth, however, was far more complicated. As the hospital began working with authorities to locate her family, pieces of her past slowly started to surface. It turned out Lily had been part of a missing persons report from another city. Her mother had been desperately searching for her for weeks. But there was a twist no one expected. When Lily's mother finally arrived, exhausted and emotional, the reunion was powerful. Tears, relief, and overwhelming gratitude filled the room. But as Daniel stood quietly in the corner, watching, something inside him shifted again. Because Lily's mother recognized him. At first, it was just a look. A pause. Then confusion. And then realization. Years ago, before life had taken everything from him, Daniel had crossed paths with her. A brief moment, a forgotten encounter, but one that had left an impact. Back then, he had helped her during a difficult time without expecting anything in return. And now, somehow, life had brought them back together. But this time, it was her daughter he had saved. It felt impossible. Unreal. Like fate had quietly been weaving their lives together all along. Daniel didn't know what to make of it. He didn't believe in coincidences, not anymore. Life had been too harsh, too unpredictable. But this felt different. It felt like something bigger. As Lily recovered and prepared to leave with her mother, she held on to Daniel's hand tightly. She didn't want to let go. In her eyes, there was something pure, something that didn't need explanation. Gratitude. Trust. Connection. And in that moment, Daniel realized something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. If this story is touching your heart so far, take a moment to comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Your support means more than you know, and it helps spread stories like this to people who need them most. As Lily walked away, hand in hand with her mother, Daniel felt both an ache and a warmth inside him. He had helped a stranger, but in doing so, he had found a piece of himself he thought was lost forever. Sometimes, life doesn't give us second chances in the way we expect. Sometimes, it gives us moments, small, unexpected moments, that remind us who we are. Daniel went back to his life, but something had changed. The weight he carried felt lighter. The world didn't seem as cold anymore. Because in saving that little girl, he had unknowingly saved himself. And maybe that's the truth we all forget sometimes, that even the smallest act of kindness can echo far beyond what we see. Before you go, if this story touched your heart even a little, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps keep these meaningful stories alive and reaching people around the world. Because kindness always finds its way back.